Are you constantly pushing yourself to achieve perfection? But no matter how hard you try, you just end up feeling drained, exhausted, and stuck? Does it feel like no matter how much you give, it's never enough? If you're tired of striving for an impossible standard only to burn out, then this video is exactly what you need to watch today. Perfectionism and burnout often go hand in hand, and in this video, we're diving deep into why that is and how you can finally break free from this exhausting cycle. By the end of this, you'll have actionable, practical tools to avoid perfectionism, recover from burnout, and reclaim your energy. Ready? Let's jump in. Let's start by understanding what perfectionism actually is. Perfectionism isn't about striving to do your best. It's about striving to be flawless in every way. But here's the catch. Flawless doesn't exist. It's an unattainable goal. You may feel the constant need to prove yourself by overperforming, overworking, and overthinking. But instead of feeling satisfied when you reach your goals, you move the finish line further away. Does that sound familiar? You achieve something, but instead of celebrating, you start thinking, what's next? You focus on what didn't go right, rather than on what did. And that's where burnout comes in. Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. When you push yourself to the edge, demanding perfection in everything you do, you're setting yourself up for burnout. Studies have shown that perfectionists are much more likely to experience burnout than those who pursue healthy, achievable goals. You see, perfectionists live in a constant state of anxiety. They feel like they're walking a tightrope, afraid that the slightest slip will cause everything to fall apart. Over time, this stress takes a toll on your body and mind. The constant pressure leads to fatigue, irritability, and a loss of motivation. It's a vicious cycle. You push yourself harder to meet impossible standards, and in doing so, you exhaust yourself further. But here's the good news. You can break the cycle. One of the main drivers of perfectionism is unrealistic expectations. When you're aiming for perfection, you're essentially setting yourself up for failure because no one can achieve perfection all the time, not even close. So, the first step in breaking the cycle is learning how to set realistic, achievable goals. Let's take an example. Imagine you're working on a big project at work. If your goal is, this project has to be perfect, you'll likely spend countless hours revising and refining, feeling increasingly frustrated that it's not. But here's the thing. Done is better than perfect. Instead of aiming for a flawless result, aim to finish the project to the best of your ability. This shift in mindset will save you both time and stress. Here's another example. If you're trying to improve your fitness, a perfectionist mindset might make you feel like you need to work out every single day, follow a strict diet without any cheat meals, and track every calorie. But what happens when you miss a day or indulge in your favorite dessert? You start to feel like a failure. A more balanced approach would be to set a goal like exercise 4 times a week and eat mostly healthy meals. This way, you're giving yourself some flexibility, and flexibility helps you avoid burnout. This leads me to one key reminder. Progress is better than perfection. Focus on making small, incremental improvements instead of demanding perfection. When you do this, you'll notice that not only do you make steady progress, but you also feel more energized and motivated along the way. Now, let's talk about control. One of the defining characteristics of perfectionists is their need to control every detail. Whether it's a project, a relationship, or even how you're perceived by others, perfectionists feel the need to manage everything down to the last detail. But here's a hard truth. You can't control everything. In fact, trying to do so is one of the fastest ways to burn yourself out. Think of it this way. Perfectionism is like holding onto a rope with all your might, afraid that if you let go, everything will fall apart. But what if I told you that letting go of perfection can actually help things come together more easily? Take the example of organizing an event. A perfectionist might obsess over every detail, how the seating is arranged, whether the lighting is just right, or if the decor is flawless. But in reality, most people won't even notice these details. What they will notice is whether or not the event was enjoyable and whether you were present and engaged. Learning to let go of the tiny imperfections allows you to focus on what really matters and helps you conserve your energy for the bigger picture. There's a great quote by Steve Jobs that captures this idea perfectly. He said, "Real artists ship. In other words, stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Get your work out there, share your ideas, and move forward. Don't let the pursuit of perfection hold you back from progress. In most cases, that final 5% of extra work you're doing won't make much difference, but it will drain you. So, let it go. Now I want to hear from you. What's one area of your life where you've been stuck in the perfectionism trap? Maybe it's a work project, a creative pursuit, or even your personal relationships. Comment below and share what you're struggling with. Let's support each other in finding ways to let go of perfection and move forward. Perfectionists often view mistakes as failures, but here's the thing. Mistakes are actually one of the most powerful ways we learn. If you avoid making mistakes at all costs, you're missing out on valuable lessons that can help you grow. Take a moment and think about Thomas Edison. He's the guy who invented the light bulb, right? But do you know how many times he failed before he got it right? He tried over 1,000 different ways to create a working light bulb. Yet instead of calling those attempts failures, he famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset we need to adopt. Mistakes are not the enemy, they're stepping stones on the path to success. The next time something doesn't go as planned, instead of beating yourself up, take a step back and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Maybe you'll discover a better way to approach a problem, or maybe you'll realize that the mistake wasn't as big of a deal as you initially thought. Here's a practical exercise for you. The next time you make a mistake, write it down, and next to it, write down what you learned from it. Over time, you'll start to see that mistakes aren't failures. They're opportunities for growth. Now, we've got to talk about self-care. This is an area that perfectionists often overlook because they're so focused on achieving, fixing, or improving everything else. But let me tell you something. If you don't take care of yourself, you're going to burn out. It's not a question of, but perfectionists often feel guilty about taking breaks because there's always more to do, more to fix, more to perfect. But here's the truth. Taking breaks and giving yourself time to recharge actually makes you productive in the long run. Research shows that regular breaks improve productivity and creativity by up to 40%. Yes, you heard that right. So instead of grinding yourself into the ground, try scheduling regular breaks throughout your day. Go for a walk, meditate, or simply take a few deep breaths. These small moments of self-care can make a huge difference in your energy levels and your ability to avoid burnout. And remember, self-care isn't just about spa days or vacations. It's about doing things that recharge your batteries daily. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, reading a good book, or enjoying a hobby, self-care is essential for long-term success. Finally, one of the most powerful tools in combating perfectionism is practicing gratitude. You see, perfectionists are wired to focus on what's wrong, what needs to be fixed, or what isn't good enough. But gratitude helps shift that focus to what's going. Start a gratitude practice by writing down 3 things you're grateful for every day. They don't have to be huge or life-changing. It could be something as simple as a good cup of coffee or a nice conversation with a friend. Over time, you'll start to retrain your brain to focus on the positives in your life rather than always zeroing in on the negatives. Here's a fascinating fact. Studies have shown that gratitude can improve your mental health and even increase your happiness by up to 25%. So if you want a simple, actionable way to feel more fulfilled and less stressed, practicing gratitude is the way to go. To sum it up, perfectionism might feel like a badge of honor, but it's often a fast track to burnout. By setting realistic goals, letting go of control, embracing mistakes, prioritizing self-care, and practicing gratitude, you can break free from the perfectionism burnout cycle and start living a more balanced, fulfilling life. Remember, done is better than perfect, and progress is better than stagnation. You don't have to do everything flawlessly, you just need to keep moving forward. If you found value in this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might be struggling with perfectionism, and don't forget to subscribe for more practical tips on self-development and living your best life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.